to make it up to her. I offered to take her to the train station because she wanted to go for the day or whatever. And I was, just saying, I was just trying to be nice because we had such a nice interaction before. And something was not right, because when I walked in, everything was very messy. She even left she left so much food in the refrigerator. She left the dishes piled high. What?
What's wrong with the food left in the refrigerator? Is there? Send it to me.
No, it's just that usually you kind of like leave it the way you came into it, but and she left like items there. Not that I mind, they're weights. Like I'll use them. They're exercise weights. So that's cool. But I'm wondering, do I just let it? I don't need to have a conversation. I don't need to say,
Because she was violated pretty bad. 8 a.m. bounding on her head, 2 feet above her head.
Mm-hmm.
That's totally illegal.
Yeah. I feel like I'm taking the heat from my brother-in-law's dysfunction.
It sounds like it.
Yep.
But that's okay. She gave you $50 for, that's nice. Whatever it is. Yeah, I would actually send her an apology, and then, I just wanted to say we apologize. He wasn't aware you were in there, and then he kept going. Sorry about that. But you did leave some things. Figure out a way to make sure that you get your energy back in terms of the confusion of it all, and at least with your position, make it right. Just like Jackson should say to that kid, I'm really sorry that I did that, but you guys are just driving me nuts with kicking the ball around, and then get out, turn your back and walk away.
Mm-hmm.
That person can decide what the hell they want to do, whether they want to say, I could have done that better too, I'm sorry, or not. But as long as you have the power in your court about Sunday's the primary thing I'm going to say, you've got to gain the healing field. You can't just be healing people and holding space and whatever, and not gain the healing field as the prerequisite to speaking, thinking, doing in this world. So how are you going to gain the healing field? How are you going to be trusted with the transfer of power?
Yeah, that's where I'm lost in some of that. And some of it I think probably happens subconsciously with me, but now that I'm thinking about this situation, and it's not that I want her back, but I want to say to her, like, I acknowledge that you're still mad, because I could see through your actions of how you left the place that,
well, you can't say that because that's too much in your face, but yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like I'm overthinking it. So I don't even know how to.
I would just, try to learn how to deal with conflict better by facing whatever comes up and not having one thing after another buried in your subconscious. Because that doesn't work. I said this to Lena this morning. So we went to Alamosa, and there was kind of a lot of activity, and then she didn't sleep so good. And then I was saying, well, trace it back. I said, I'm always back and find out how I could have done it better, what I didn't see. So take my power back. And the prerequisite to that is being wrong. That's why step one is so important, or overcoming denial.
Right.
So you go back in time a lot in life. Otherwise, these patterns of confusion, they just set entrainment to your entire brain and behavior. You've got to be able to have enough time to slow down and to find stillness. And then you're going to see this stuff functioning like, oh, that happened. And that's been functioning in my subconscious since yesterday. And that's why all of this happened. And that's why I didn't sleep good. And that could go on for 1,000 years. You don't know how long the entrainment happens from things from your childhood, from things you did wrong or were mistaken about or incompetent about or whatever. But once that first step happens where you burst your bubble and you again ground yourself, now life comes back in. and you can get into step 2. The idea of the completion delusion is really important. No matter what we do, we're trying to like get over this or get on with it or be on top of things. There's no such thing. That's not how life functions. Yet that's how our brain is trained. You buy this product, you take this course, and that's it. You're on top of it. Now I'm going to have a better business. Now I'm going to have better with my brother-in-law and my sister and so forth. No, it's never that way. I mean, it goes up and down, it cycles, but
Mhm.
never on top of life. It doesn't work that way. The way to be more on top of things is to be more underneath things. Understanding, stand under.
Mhm.
Humility of, oh, I didn't understand that. Oh, wrong again. There's something new there. And then going on to step 2, because it's a tremendous relief to realize that you didn't understand or you don't know how to do it. To not keep finding the answer all the time, but to actually say, I really don't know. And to sit with that discomfort. Who was it yesterday? Student friend. They were saying something about, they always seem to want to hold space or be the strong one or whatever. To actually be quiet and listen and to just sit with their own discomfort is terrible for them. And I'm like, well, but that's the secret. Like fixing the car. I was doing this car thing. I think I told you about it last week or so. And it was just terribly uncomfortable. And I was very afraid. And I did break the wrench. And I did possibly get into a terrible situation. But that's better than not trying, even if you make a mistake. Because if you sit with the discomfort of like the jujitsu, when I first started the Gracie jujitsu, I'm like, oh my God, no way. You put your foot over here and your hands like this and the angle's over here and you turn like this and you turn this way and you turn your hip this way. It's like leverage, endless things. Endless things. I'm like, I'm the most uncoordinated thing in the world. And here I am rolling around on the ground, making a fool of myself. And now I'm like, yeah, I'm into it. Let's go. The guy said in that video, he said, hurry up, get in the car, come down here. And the other one said, yeah, get choked. And I was like, yeah, I'm totally into it because I get it now. I don't mind rolling all over somebody. I can deal with it, man or woman. And okay, that took me, I think, years to get over in my psyche. But keep going, trying to start again. And I don't mind being wrong. And it reminded me, I'm not only just wrong in that, I'm wrong on all kinds of stuff. So that's the step 1 idea of really being receptive to help because you overcome denial. And you'll find that there's a lot of people that are willing to intervene and to help facilitate your life, protect your life.
Well, I'm just going into this situation alone, you mean? Like digging deep into just that, or go back even further and why did I even allow her to be renting here?
Yeah, just back further to how come why am I having this situation? Nothing to do with her.
I'm a
The,
people pleaser.
okay. The other person has to turn into your teacher, your savior. If the
Mhm.
other doesn't turn into your teacher, your savior, then you can't set a boundary, you can't whatever, because you're no longer receptive to the information that they're giving you. So if they're giving you information, you say, oh, it's not good for me to be a people pleaser, or it's not good for me to hide behind the defense mechanisms of not being exposed in this negative way or that negative way. I just have to deal with life now and sit here with whatever discomfort I feel. And then you start to work on the car or you work on the problem, whatever, and you're going to find in your biology these off places. You're going to find in your psychology these off places. And it's all going to trace back to who you are, your genetics, in the good and the bad. And now you're alone. Unless you're alone and abandoned from the sea of psychic magnetism, unless you're on the mountaintop looking at your own psyche and everything with stillness, unless you get to that place, you can't change anything. You can't say, oh, I know now to calm down when I'm putting the bolt in to change the transmission fluid, because I'm going to strip that bolt if I don't put it all the way in. And I've got to make sure it's all the way in. And I didn't do it before. And I broke the wrench and I stripped the bolt, which could be a terrible thing, because if that bolt, and then you can't get the new fluid in there, and then God knows the money and the trouble involved to get that bolt out. I have no idea, but it's not a small deal. It's really all based in that first step. Once that first step of saying, okay, I was too nervous, I was too frenetic, I was too worried about the guys behind me and how they're tougher than I am the other day, and how that's not tolerable because I'm supposed to be tough. And then after the bubble bursts, you're like, what, am I kidding myself? What, am I delusional? And you just become real. And that's when life comes in and starts to change things. Says, oh, okay, this is her. Now I understand who she is. I understand what's going on. I understand that it's pretty intolerable to come to an Airbnb and for relaxation and have my head banged in all day. So I don't know about giving her any money back. I don't think I'm willing to do that. But you know what? I'm just want to tell you, I'm really sorry about that. And if she asks for money, you could tell her no, but don't offer it. I mean, that's going to be part of the rule of the game. And offer a free day.
Well, I don't think she'll come back. She was a friend of a friend and wanted to check out Millbrook. Millbrook, it's at least she's not going to write a review, which is good. Oops, sorry.
That's good because yeah.
So it's just a friend of a friend situation, and the thing that bothers me is that, like, and this is part of, I feel like, my learning being a people pleaser. It's like, I hate it when people walk away uncomfortable from a situation I was trying to make comfortable. You see? So, like, it's not my job to make her comfortable. She's going through a lot of stuff. She's 51. She's in between jobs. She's trying to be a 30-year-old. And it's like,
trying to get a 30-year-old.
Yeah. She's like, if I had my Botox and my fillers, I would pass for 30. And she's just real, like, she was like throwing out names, Oprah, Madonna, all these things that she used to work in. And I'm like, I feel like she was just a broken little girl coming here for some respite and got slammed by her own shit. And
no,
what?
Ultimately, her being 100% responsible, she got slammed by her own shit. But in the real world, she got slammed by your shit.
I know.
It caused him because you're in a relationship. So, it doesn't even matter as far as she's concerned. It's you because you're the renter. But so then it relates back to the relationship with the guy. But the idea of somebody being comfortable all the time is enablement. And you must not do that to Jackson. You must allow him to be uncomfortable. Otherwise, he could get in trouble like I did in life and waste tons of years and it just be awful.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if drugs or whatever starts to be part of things, then you're in real trouble. And the problem with this is enablement. And enablement means that you won't allow me to feel my own distortion. You just want to say, it's okay, honey. And I'm like, yeah, give me more of that. But no. Now I learn, as you hear me talk all the time, discomfort and sitting with your stuff and everything, boy, is that required. And everybody that's successful knows that. But then it seems to be that the successful people try to get others to not have to go through that, but that's impossible. So discomfort, just because of the aging process, means that you're working on your neurology. So when I'm going to change the bolt out that I stripped. And when I go in there, I'm going to be in a better level of comfort because I worked through the discomfort of, I got to be under the car and put this up. And now I'm going to learn everything about cars.
Mm-hmm.
Job in life, learn everything about everything, no matter what comes up, do it myself. And I feel it in my body where I'm uncomfortable. But being able to be comfortable with being uncomfortable is the great missing key to having a problem. And we're often not able to have a problem because of defense mechanisms. But if you're able to have a problem, then it's wonderful because solution just comes in. So remove the covering in the step one, and now energy and information can tend to the area of your mind and body that needs assistance. And those Christian terms of substitution and justification are wonderful things, meaning that now your bad stuff comes out and it goes on to the tree or the teacher or the something. And justification, advocacy. Now you have an advocate because you're allowing help in, or asking for advice or something. Now there's a third cause in the dynamic, and that third cause is allowing air to circulate in a place of shock, which is I'm a people pleaser. Here it is, happened again. Oh, he's such an asshole doing that. Oh, I'm such an asshole for allowing it. Oh, she's just a total asshole, so who cares? And it just goes around all the time, and it never goes back to this 100% responsibility, which means that you've got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And if you do that, you get to step two. Now the light streams in, the air streams in, the education streams in, and you find your body. We're stuck in our heads. We can't find our bodies. I can fit my pants again.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Proud. I don't know how it happened. Lena just kept on giving me nothing to eat. So she gave me a bowl of soup yesterday. I'm like, is this for the cat? Like this much soup. I'm like, but now this morning I was getting ready for the Mexico trip, and I put some pants on and I could button them. So I got all, as you heard me, I've got all these pants. So anyway.
That's awesome. When do you guys leave?
Monday, Tuesday, Monday. So what's a thing that you've accomplished in your life? Never the weight loss, right?
That on that hardcore.
Just forget it. Give me some ice cream. I'm with you.
Well, I was just thinking about how last night I was in step one about Jackson and his lunch. When he comes home, I'm like, why didn't you eat your lunch? Like you're starving. I'm trying to help him see that you eat your lunch. You won't be. What?
It'll make you eat too much, right? When you don't eat anything, then you eat too much.
Well, he makes the wrong choice. Like he ate ice cream instead of real food.
Right.
And
nobody else does those things.
I know. So I guess maybe I stepped one on the wrong thing I did. I was wrong on the wrong thing that I did. Like, so he felt like, he's like, why are you shaming me about my lunch? And I said, that's how you feel? Like I'm shaming you about not eating? And I said, I'm sorry, I won't ever do that again. But all I'm saying is that if you eat your lunch, then you'll come home and make better choices when you want a snack.
And he's like, yeah, sure, Mom. Have some ice cream.
But no, he didn't say that though.
No, but that's what he's got to think, because in that particular area, you don't demonstrate the proper
You're
thing.
right.
You can't tell. Most people with a lot of weight or extra weight or whatever, they always will say, I don't eat anything. I eat perfect. And they're all full of shit. I used to be a fitness instructor, And one thing I heard, and I used to tell people, hey, guess what? If you don't eat, you'll lose weight. Don't tell me about it. Now, if you eat the sugar and you just eat the whatever, and then of course, or if there's a lot of mental confusion, then of course it never happens. But the good news here is that it's not about step one. It's only about step one when you can't hear it. Then I don't stop with step one. But it's really about step two, step three. So you don't want to address an issue, especially if it's a mutual dynamic issue, food. is it would be a mutual dynamic issue. Well, for all of us, food is, food and sex are like the biggest things.
Okay.
So don't address the issue until you get to step 2 and step 3. Don't be like, oh, I've got to do step 1 with this, and then verbalize that. No, you don't want anybody else to see your step 1, unless
Mm.
it's a person. You want to do step 1 with the dynamic of the food with Jackson. You know what's amazing about the food thing that I just learned in the last couple of weeks?
What?
If you just eat like more vegetables, whatever, for like a couple of weeks, you'll lose 5-10 pounds and not even know what the hell happened. And it won't be as terrible as you think. And you'll see that it's a psychological issue. That I want to sit there and watch TV and eat tons of shit because it's fun. That's me anyway. But wow, it actually worked to eat vegetables and stuff like that. And I'm going to try to keep going. Yesterday, I had this giant Reuben sandwich, though. We were out and I'm like, honey, I'm going to fail. Forget it. Reuben, fries, and 2 Coca-Colas. Let's rock and roll. So,
Wow.
yeah, kind of blew it there. But what is step 2 all about? Let me find out what you say here. Because you're right. You're stuck on step 1 too much. You told me, don't keep step 1 in me. You're going to drive me into depression. Like, oh, okay.
So my client just got here, but no, I want to go through this because she's early. So this is, I feel like we're getting somewhere with this. What is step 2 for me in this situation?
Yeah, and you got 3 minutes to get to it. Go ahead.
Slowing down.
Right, rule the game. Okay.
And not, to me, it's not focusing on that. It's relief from this.
Yeah, no more.
What I'm eating is a problem. Always, 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 always.
Yeah. No, now you forget it. Now it's like there is no step 1. When you're going into step 2, the step 1 becomes absent, and you only have so much time to do that before you see the person, whether it's Jackson person, William, any person, and you must do that before you see the person. So the rule of the game is sensing the airflow through the nostrils, forgetting about judgment. Anybody can do anything they want, live or die, whatever. I don't know what happens, including ourselves. And you experience the most advanced meditation technique, death. That happens in step 3 in this, not with the body, where you're not worried anymore about anyone, anything, anywhere. You have mental silence. So it's slowing down. It's the body is more relaxed. It's the airflow in the nostrils, right through the eyelids. And with this stillness and this silence, you can receive this person into whatever reserves, and you have plenty of reserves because you're one with God, of energy. And then when you receive it, now you can go ahead and bone it up. But all this has to happen pre-personality, pre-form. So you 10s and 5s, absolute specific structure, like changing a gear on a car. 10s, 5s customized, 10s, 5s customized.
I get cocky sometimes, I think. Last night I did so much of it that I thought this morning would be lighter, and it came, I was still in step 1.
I think we just got a little step 2, didn't we?
We did. Just now, yeah.
Don't hurt yourself by making the step 1 happen. Actually forget all of it. Enjoy
Okay.
you have an arrangement. They're coming to get healed. You're doing healing. It's just a easy win-win. So you don't have to worry about anything now. That's all gone, because the whole deal of what you do for a living and to help people is around no problem. You're more than me that way, right? It's based around, we're just going to relax now and we're going to do this, and you're going to go back and you're going to think about the person after they do the one. That's what Katie did, right? You do the one thing and then you're off. So then you're going to remember to work on the person by receiving them like this. And this becomes an interesting sort of time away, like vacation, time away from any kind of step one. So you keep going. So you're going to go slower and longer, and you're going to listen more. And you're going to realize that if they're playing this game with you, then it's easy for their stuff to come out of them, and for you to see that you have this same stuff, and it just be a structured hour or whatever it is where you're going to heal. You're both going to be healed. You're not thinking about anything else.
Okay. Thank you. See you Sunday.